Before we begin, it's that time. That's right, sponsor mentions. Human Fuel is also known as Huel, the affordable, easy, flavorful meal option for the athlete on the go. Try the Black Edition, multiple flavors, as your morning shake, or give one of the lunch options, such as mac and cheese curry or pasta bolognese. Get to Huel.com/packfiller today. It's my time of year. I'm going back to school, so it's my time to start pounding down the Huel when I'm at lunch because I'm too busy. And show them you're a listener that wants great food options. Next off, Gooder sunglasses, you guys. Fit, style, polarized lenses, and so affordable you can buy the whole year, Clark. Get to Packfiller, click the link, and give Packfiller15 a shot in the discount code. Affordable excellence might just be a bit more affordable. And finally, Untapped Maple, everybody. Quick to ingest, quick to digest, quick to fuel, and damn tasty. The only one fueled by pure Vermont maple syrup and multiple flavors. This ain't for your pancakes, it's for your ride. Click the link at packfiller.com. I did my reads without stumbling.
Because Sam's not here to interfere and break a rhythm.
Mm-hmm. And show up late.
Isn't it nice? You don't have to wait for him. You just know.
And you're in scrubs, so it's like...
Yeah. I came straight here.
The Ask Dr. David tonight's going to be like really efficient. It's merged, Well, okay, I was going to say at least Sam isn't late, but welcome to the podcast with 50% of its panel firmly blaming Renko's crash on disc brakes. What?
Not even I would say that.
Really?
Yeah. That's bullcrap. Anyway, go ahead. I broke your rhythm. I stepped in for Sam.
This is Life on Two Wheels. This is the Packfiller Cycling Podcast. We're live in the Rim Break Bar. It is Tuesday, and yes, you can now say Cross is coming. Can we agree? It's cold outside. It's kind of raining. It's coming. It's not here. It's coming.
Next week.
Oh, shit.
Next Wednesday. I signed up for the whole series.
Wow.
Yep.
I'm Pat Bulger. Let's see who's here, although you probably heard it. Gentlemen, tonight's prologue. What's the best candy bar? And why? Simple question, but probably something that could bring about some very heated discussions, especially if you have a peanut allergy. I swear that's all the beer I've had. I swear.
But how about before the show?
Oh, I had 3 more.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that doesn't count. Yeah, those don't count. Those are pre-funk.
Yeah.
Those are lubricants. He's back and he has some opinions, Mr. Paul Main. How are you, man?
Doing all right. All right.
I can't wait to hear about Nationals. And we're going to get to that here shortly. So, without spoiling, what's your favorite candy bar and why?
When I was in high school, and they don't make it anymore, it's called the Marathon Bar. Do you remember that? It was a caramel weed thing, and it lasted a very long time. They were I think they were 12 inches long or something. Not to show off or anything.
Yeah.
But and they actually had
Wouldn't it be sad if they were only 4 inches long, but you were told it was 12 inches long all these years?
Yeah, there's probably a lot of people out there who were disappointed in that same way. But I would say now my go-to, and I like is I just found out on this trip with my brother-in-law, and my sister, paydays. I like paydays.
Nice.
And yeah.
What's in a payday?
It's
if you say
nougat,
coconut,
caramel,
okay.
and then it's peanuts actually on the outside. You don't know what a payday is?
I don't think
you would know what a payday is. It's like the peanut covered one.
Yeah, it's just covered in peanuts.
Insert joke about being a teacher. Payday.
Oh, I don't get paid, so I don't understand. Asshole. I was going to say, next off, he's probably the only guy racing cross at this bar right here, Mr. David Waples. How are you, man?
Good. Is that true?
I'm not gonna.
So far, I think so.
Cool. Yeah.
I might be talked into 1, maybe 2, and I don't mean that against Cross, but I mean we'll get into that. But I'm
excited. It keeps me motivated this time of year.
Fire burning. Yeah.
So I'm doing well though.
Do you go to a candy bar? What's your candy bar? Besides cookies from the hospital.
Yeah, cookies from the hospital.
Taking them from the children's ward.
I always enjoy,
I think he's in a coma. I'll take his cookie.
Yeah,
he won't he's not going to need that.
Man.
Oh my God, it's horrible. All of a sudden, Jimmy a little bit later, I'm awake. Where's my cookie?
There's actually the candy. Oh my god!
Jimmy, what is this cookie?
There is actually the candy supply is great in the children's hospital.
Is
I
it?
bet.
Yeah, I do sneak over there every once in a while. But I really like Butterfinger.
They stick to my
Really?
dental work.
Yeah, that's the
Butterfinger's
issue.
just, it's that crunchy.
I know it's just
gritty.
It's
It's
a
like
texture
good,
thing.
though.
Yeah, I like the
Yeah.
texture going
Really?
on there. Yeah,
It's like
just to
particle
clarify,
board.
We were talking about bars or candy.
Bars.
Like Sour Patch Kids don't count because that's
No,
not a bar.
that's-
a candy bar.
Unfortunately,
Candy
no.
bar.
That's crap.
Candy
Yeah.
bar.
All right, cool. Then I stick with my answer.
I would like
Butterfinger.
to get into a heavy discussion about which gummy bear brand, but we will do that later because I have been in Albanese, guys, but I see Peter Sagan wolfing down Haribo's. So-
Haribos, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I don't know which one.
That's what started it all. It's a true German
Haribo.
made. Haribo was the original gummy
Okay.
bear.
Albanese are brilliant though. Give you the massive shits. He's probably the only guy here who's ridden indoors this year, Mr. Jackson Bolger.
I have twice now.
I know, Paul. Okay. Wow.
I watched while I was away to the podcast,
Yeah.
and I was happy he chose the right indoor. If you have to
the
do
right
it,
platform.
Yeah,
the right platform.
yeah, and it's
What platform is that again?
it's Wahoo System.
There we go.
There you go. Yeah.
There we go.
I like doing it though. It's nice that I like watching the race footage, like I did the one where Chris Horner dropped Nibali in the
yeah.
Vuelta.
Yeah.
And it's kind of fun because it's like telling you like, oh, like yeah, like you dropped him or
Yeah.
like go catch him. It's fun to like envision yourself as one of those riders. So I'd like doing that.
Totally the 1980s when I was riding around all by myself to a John Tesh soundtrack. I dreamt I was dropping Sean Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, shit. Same thing, man. Same thing.
Yeah, it's fun, especially as like a racer, you know.
Yeah.
Put yourself in that setting, get a little competitive with something that's fake. So it's nice.
There we go.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Candy bar.
Yeah.
I do like a Snickers bar a lot. It hurts my teeth like a son of a bitch.
What is there in your
Why?
teeth?
Because I haven't been to the dentist in like 10 years.
Oh,
Okay, like 6, but
Wow. I haven't either. But so what about that candy bar?
I
Are you
think-
freezing them?
no. You know how there's some foods that are like that kind of like
it's so sweet it hurts your teeth.
yeah.
Yeah,
It
I
like
know
hurts
what
your
you're talking
dental
about.
work a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're done. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you never had that?
No.
Oh.
Like soup. Yeah, I've had it with like really sugary drinks too.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of like hurts
Maybe my
hurts
teeth
back.
are dead.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
When
with
you get to an age, they start falling out.
There is a way to make sure that doesn't happen.
What?
Don't eat that stuff.
But then
Then
what's,
it will never happen.
then what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah, easy there, marathon man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they were known for yanking out fillings because
Were they?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm about to change my idea because I'm going to think of an old bar that I don't think is around here
Well,
anymore. But
if you want that bar,
yeah, no,
if a nerd's rope counts,
Nerd's Rope does it. Nerd's Rope.
it's in a bar form in the packaging.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are good.
You have never had one if you keep shaking your head like that. Then pretty damn good.
Okay. Right. I'm Pat Bolger. My candy bar, it was good. It's always been Snickers. I think it's been passed down by generations. My dad was a Snickers guy. I remember going on fishing trips with my dad, fly fishing trips with my dad, and he would pack them in the cooler, and that's what we would eat. That and squirt soda. So those things always remind me of those trips. But if I had to pick a different one, and I think Paul's the only one who's going to get this, the Charleston Chews.
Yeah.
The only one that's gonna get it, of course I get.
You've
that.
had a Charleston Chew where
There's-
you break them first, you smack them on something, and they
They're-
break into
yeah.
pieces?
Oh yeah, they're still around. They even have mini ones now.
What is this sorcery you speak?
They're in a yellow box, in case you want to know.
Really?
Yep.
God, they were
Do you
good.
remember the big hunk?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nougat and peanuts in
That's still
Yeah.
around too.
there. Is it?
Yep. As you can tell, I know.
Also
Yeah.
known as
This.
Liam
No
Hemsworth.
marathon bar though.
Maybe I'll have to look.
It used to be the $100,000 bar.
That is still
Those
It's
are
at
good.
10 grand
100
or
grand.
something.
Yeah.
100,
Yeah.
100
100
million,
grand.
a billion.
Yeah,
Because
those
I
are
think
good.
inflation.
Those
Yeah.
are delicious. I love those. They have that popped rice.
Wait,
that rice
100 grand is
combo.
nothing like this marathon bar you're discussing.
No, marathon bar was no.
Okay.
It's
okay.
different. Yeah.
All right.
That lasts a mighty long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you.
Bit Honeys.
Yeah, I remember those.
Do you
I
guys
know.
eat them?
I've seen the
You guys eat 'em?
package.
Am I the only one who likes Bit Honeys?
No,
Because I think it's like when Halloween comes around, it's just if you're an asshole, they throw a bit of honey in your bag.
so you got a lot?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and so
all
I
right.
just learned to like them.
Yep.
That and the apple fritters in the apple box and the donut box, I'd go for those because nobody ate them. Nobody ate them. They'd be just like, those are gross. I'm not going to eat them.
I like the bear claws.
Bring them.
The bear
Bring it
claws.
on.
Yeah.
And you're telling me those don't hurt your teeth?
No.
Jesus. Christ.
Donuts are prime candidates for that.
Yeah.
Especially
Hurt
the
like
filled ones.
like pain.
I don't know if it's pain necessarily. It's more just like weird discomfort.
or like when you drink something too cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
Oh, okay. I know that
yeah,
sensation.
it's a very similar sensation.
It's uncomfortable. Yeah.
Well, I chew ice cream, so I don't get that sensation either.
That
I
I
do.
see depends on the ice cream for me.
I just
Yeah.
Bike racing. September is a few days away, and the racing scene is pretty much over around here. It's like tumbleweeds rolling through, unless you count the Walla Walla Grit, which is coming up, which is gravel fondo race kind of a thing, I think. The Night Shift Cyclocross Series, which I do want to plug for our local folks out here, and a few fondos here and there. I know the Coeur d'Alene fondo's coming up, and there we go. $150 for a cookie. And does anybody have anything to strive for? I know David said he's going to do the cross. Paul, Jackson, you got anything to strive for? Anything to live for?
Well, I have things to
That's
live
depressing.
for. To race for, though, no, not really. I'm already starting to train for next year.
You are.
Yeah, I just want to be better than I was this year.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's our topic, so don't get to it yet. Too in depth.
Well,
Does anybody take time off anymore?
no.
No.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
I don't think I'm gonna this year.
Yeah.
I did last year, and just got anxious.
Yeah.
Maybe like a week or two, and then I just feel like I need to exercise. So
Yeah.
if I'm doing something like if we go on a ski trip, then when you're doing something else. But for the most part, I try to be consistent.
We got back from Montana, and I will admit I took like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off. No, I rode that Wednesday because you guys gave me shit. No, I gave myself shit
Self-shit.
because you guys
Yeah.
rode on
Right,
Tuesday.
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I did. I haven't done anything majorly like intervals,
Yeah.
Right.
hardcore miles. But you, young man,
Yeah.
what the hell is wrong with you? You did like 97 or something like that, right? No, you did some stupid ride like a few days ago.
Well, I hadn't done Mount Spokane this year, and so I was like, "This is it."
Consider it a good year.
It would have been a good year not to do it. And so I had like Saturday morning. I don't know. Wife's gone. Nobody was around to tell me what to do. So I just went and rode Mount Spokane.
That sounded good.
Yeah. So it was great.
Wife's gone. Nobody told me what to do.
Sounds
So
like
I rode my bike.
Sounds like a
Yeah.
suicide note.
Yeah.
Not
I mean,
to
I
be
was-
depressing, but yeah.
I was like riding. I was like, I don't really want to ride up Mount Spokane, but I got nothing else to do today. So
So you wrote it.
You solo.
yeah, it was great. I almost died on the way back. I feel like it was so hot.
Oh God, that was like a 90-degree day.
It was 97. Yeah,
That
Oh
sucks.
man.
but it was fun.
I will say probably the highlight of my summer was when I showed up after that bike packing trip, and I came into my house and I was at my dining room table in heat exhaustion, full blown heat exhaustion, just going. My wife was looking at me going, "What can I do?" I said, "I don't know." And I was making that sound. I'm not exaggerating. I was just going,
I need to get some banana bags
stupid.
for these kind of days.
Oh God! All she could do was put like wet towels on me just to try and cool myself down. It was really stupid. Bike packing, you guys are idiots. Before we get too far into this, let's check in with Paul. Paul just got back from the Nationals in Georgia. We bragged about it. We talked about it, Paul, and everything was going. So let's just build a little story, shall we, Paul? First of all, how was it? Let's little exposition. How was it getting down there? I mean, the flight was good.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Flight was good. Everything went well. Going down there.
bike was late though.
Yeah. So So
Paul's
it's
just-
only fitting.
Is it just me or have you just accepted like a standard of shit?
I do.
Just like,
I
going,
gotta
"Hey,
roll with it.
This
you know?
isn't as bad as like the time, when grandma died or something like that. It's like, Jesus.
Well, it was like, up to RC3, which was in the middle of July.
Yeah.
My training was kind of like spotty. But after RC3, I felt energized, but then I had a cracked frame, right? So
Yeah.
this is setting the tempo of how things were going. So it was this balance between...
I think I
what
No,
it's a balance between, I'm going to send my frame in, but do I purchase this other frame from Jack? And I'm thinking, yeah, pretty much. But online they said usually the turnaround's a week, and I'm like, why would I buy a frame, build it up with my parts from my BMC, and put it on this? Because I knew there's going to be a little bit of a challenge because there's a few things as the bike industry likes to do and make sure nothing
Nothing
matches.
fits. No. Yeah.
So then I checked in with them at that week. They said it'll probably be another week, and I'm like, well, okay. And then, as we had in the podcast before, I didn't get any word. I wasn't getting responses back. So that's when I built up and bought, because I'm with, so anyway, Jack's frame. So I get it built, and I order some parts that don't fit, and it's like, oh my God, it just went one thing after another. So no training up to then I throw myself in this A group, which was way over my head.
In Montana.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Especially with the lack of training. Not that would have helped with that crowd. That's certainly not. And I won't digress about all that.
Yeah.
Then my frame comes back, and I'm able to. I can't remember. Something happened. Oh, I did. I think I had one training ride after that weekend, and that Tuesday. And then the next weekend is the weekend before Masters Nationals, and we had smoke, and I couldn't ride. So I'm thinking, all right, I'm rolling with this. And I was down here making adjustments. I had a headset I had to put in. I came here.
Yeah.
You allowed me to use your shop because I needed a shop, not sprawled out on my condo floor and going, where did that bearing go? So it happened a couple of times.
Tastes funny.
It's like, this is not working.
Yeah.
So anyway, so then I thought, okay, I'm going to go down there. I'm there. I went down with my sister and my brother-in-law. And if people haven't heard before, tomorrow will be the 1-year anniversary of my little brother who I grew up with and we were very close, died.
Yeah.
This was the encouragement for me to go down is because I kept talking about doing this. And he says, you just need to do it someday. So that little voice after he died.
Wow.
So this is why I chose it. I think with my lack of preparation, I probably would have bailed again, but I was going through with it. No matter how, I was going to try and finish, do what I can.
Yeah.
So that's the basis. So now my preparation's crap. My frame broke. The frame that I bought, I had to alter. I couldn't get the right chain rings, blah, blah, blah. Fly down to everything's good. And then we're waiting for our luggage, thank you. And there's nothing. And they said, ooh, it didn't make the flight. So I'm like, phew. So we get into our Airbnb. They get in our Airbnb, and it is, so there's different temperature here. So it was like 90. So it was, I think, about 9:30 at night. And it was 98 degrees, and the humidity was like it registered at 45, but it was like stagnant air. It was just stagnant. There was no wind. And so we got in the Airbnb. Was actually the highlight of Augusta to me was that Airbnb. The rest of Augusta stunk.
Really? Like,
it was
like
and
literally
here's
stunk, or just was like not a cool town.
And so I'll try and speed this up because this could take a while. So there's a 3-hour difference.
Sure.
So we show up. I'm not falling asleep till 1:00.
Oh, God.
And then at 6:30, I hear somebody at the front door, and it's like, I'm like, and I do the pull
the
back the
blinds.
curtain, and I looked, and there's some guy with a neck tattoo, and he's like doing something. I'm like, that's our luggage. Is he? Oh, he was leaving it. So it actually got there like the next morning. Cool. So I pulled it out, and like proceeded to just drag it in the back patio and start assembling it. And the cicadas were just like, it was so bizarre.
Gosh, that's crazy.
It's just, it's like, this is Twilight Zone. And it was already, it didn't go, I think it was around 78 degrees with about 50% humidity, but it was just stagnant air. It just wasn't moving. I'm just like, this is crazy. So I got the bike put together. And then, so I went on Strava and tried to look like mapping. And all I could find was like by this river run and there's gravel and stuff. No, I mean, where the train, I couldn't find anything in Augusta. So I did some research and I found this bike shop that has a group ride on Wednesdays, Fridays, and they do like a fast ride on a Saturday or Sunday. And it's all road rides. They have pictures and stuff. So, my brother-in-law and my sister and I went down. I said, hey, we're heading downtown so we can take a look to see where we can eat, that type of thing. And we were by Augusta National. If you're not a golfer, that is the golf course.
It's what the town's known for.
There is
I would
absolutely-
assume. I mean, you think of the Augusta and you think of,
There's nothing. There's nothing in that area. We are a 3-minute drive away. I mean, we drove around. It's a massive course, and they have hedges so you can't really see in. There is not a restaurant. There is not anything. And anywhere in that area, they have a Kruger's and a Lidl. Like Lidl Trek.
really?
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
But that wasn't too far away. But there's just like Olive Gardens, Dave and whatever that,
Dave and
sports-
Buster's.
Yeah, Dave and Buster's.
Ah.
That was your choices. There was nothing like ma and pops like good restaurants. And I'm like, well, we got to go downtown. And I'm not joking. 70% of downtown is boarded up.
Oh, shit.
So I went to this. So that morning we went down and we stopped off at the bike shop. And I there's a guy behind doing tune-ups, and I said, I'm here for the Masters Nationals. He goes, the what? Masters Nationals. Now, the only sign that I ever saw the time I arrived was 2 little sandwich boards at the airport. And it's this very small, quaint airport. Now, I will say one thing about everybody I met in Augusta. They are extremely nice people. I never came to a single rude individual. Everybody's hello, nice, thank you, please. Yeah. So, and I'm telling him, I said, I'm at Augusta, by the Augusta golf course, and do you have any suggestions for rides? And he goes, oh, we don't ride in Augusta. You don't? He goes, no, we go over to South Carolina, which the Savannah River runs down, and you have to go over to that side. And that's where we ride.
Wow.
And I said, well, what's the best way to get over there? And I told him my location. He says, drive down to downtown, take this bridge, and you can ride over the bridge, and then there's a couple of courses. I'm like, fuck.
Wow.
Are you kidding me?
Really?
So this is where we have it. So now, let's back up. I have a road race. And now my sister gets sick.
Yeah.
And then I got a little bit of it. Not too bad, but I was starting to get sniffly. I was blowing my nose and felt exhausted and tired, and it could be because of jet lag and other things too. The road race is on a military base, and you have to get clearance before you go in. It dawns on me, and it's a 15-minute drive from our place to get on this base. My sister can't get in. So the only way for me to get, not only do I not feel good, I have to carry a backpack and go through the gate, get my clearance to the start line with my backpack. Well, what the hell am I going to do with my backpack? Because I have to have my phone and all that information. And what am I going to do with that at the start line? I don't know anybody here. So, anyway.
Okay. Can I just interrupt really quickly to say this is the first time I'm hearing this story. So, and I am I was neutral going into this, and so do not shoot me if I'm completely wrong on all this. But what the actual fuck, USAC? And I mean nothing against the organizers of the race. The USAC approved the race, approved the venue, approved everything like that. At what point in time is a city that is not really bike friendly, it sounds like?
Yeah, from my experience. Now, mind you, I was there only for a couple of days because we ended up bugging out when I decided I'm pulling because I'm not feeling good.
Yeah.
And the logistics sucks. We went to Charleston, South Carolina for 4 days.
So a city that is potentially not bike friendly, and if you're from Augusta and you'd like to comment on this, please let me know, inform me on this. I'm going in here blind, and a venue that you are restricted to get to when we're talking about trying to make cycling a spectator friendly sport and trying to make cycling a family friendly sport. What the actual fuck? I mean, this just sounds like an absolute, let's just give it to somebody and tell the masters to shut up, even though it's the largest dynamic in road cycling. So anyway, nobody can answer that question, but you were saying the road race didn't go. It didn't happen for you.
Not for me. I chose opt out just
you
because
were
my
sick
base
and the heat was out of control.
Yeah, if I was going to have to roll the dice for one, probably the best bet is the crit for me.
Yeah.
And on the positive side of things, and I didn't get a chance to talk to the guy from Spokane who got second here at Districts when we had our C3 in my age group. He's an extremely good cyclist. And the guy who won, so there's 3 of us signed up. 2 of them did the road race from the state of Washington. And the state champion in my age group was down there. He got 48th. But Mark Luttrell got 6th overall.
Wow.
And, yeah, he did very well. He's a very talented cyclist. Yeah. So, they didn't obviously have the problems I had, and they probably have a different experience. And, this is just my experience, so I can just say it wasn't – because we had Masters Nationals, and I'm used to my older brother actually promoted Washington Trust Classic.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm thinking on that level and what I've seen at national level and professional races that come through our town, it is a production. There's banners. Everybody knows about it. The criteriums, remember the criteriums?
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
At the criteriums, it was like desert. The only people there was the announcers, the officials, other racers, and their family.
Was that on the base too or no?
No, that was downtown Augusta. So
downtown crit and nobody shows up?
The lady at the airport said, because I put my bike on there. This a bike? Yeah. She goes, I've been seeing a lot of these.
Oh, my God.
And my sister said, yeah, he had a race called a Criterium downtown. Oh, really? Yeah. She goes, how did that go? She said, my sister said, there wasn't anybody there. And she goes, if I would have known about it, I would have gone. This sounds like fun.
Oh,
so I don't know how much promotion that the city did. But here's the other thing.
Then why be awarded the national championships?
Well, and I wonder how many people want to host this. This is the thing that I started thinking is like, because the information that I got, like just your technical information, came like only 2 weeks before. I didn't know, the true technical stuff. I found out that it was on base, and I got all my stuff. There's plenty of time, but not to alert like the city of Augusta to me.
No.
So I would think within a year's time, you would say, here's a course, blah, 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 and the promotions begin. Hey, that's Spokane is great for backing up big things. Washington Trust Classic,
yeah, everything.
We have Hoop Fest, the largest 3-on-3 tournament in the world. Mm-hmm. Bloomsday, one of the largest time. But this, nothing. So my experience there was negative.
Okay.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. Now, when the crit came, and this is part of it because
should I hit it again?
Yeah.
Oh, no!
So it takes off. And so on that crit, the thing is it was not blistering pace, but I could feel that this was not going to be my day at the beginning anyway. But I wasn't going to worry about it. My job was to just try and finish. And there was 50 guys that started the crit, and the wash machine was happening. And I'm using that. And I'm staying on the inside. And so when you see people go on the outside, you just kind of grab their wheel and they move you up. And then pretty soon it just shovels back and forth. I do not like riding in the back part. I'm not a tail gunner in the back because what happened to me...
David?
Yeah.
One time.
Your brother's screaming. Your brother's screaming in his phone right now.
So what happened to me with the overlap wheel at Missoula is what happened here too.
Okay.
So after turn 2 was it's like 3, maybe 4 block long stretch and just 1 block. It's a 4-corner crit.
Oh wow.
And so anyway, after turn 2, there was this manhole cover everybody's trying to avoid, and this guy came across, and I was going down. I clipped out, stuck out the outrigger, and
Wow.
and so by the time I was able to try and clip in, I'm already in the middle of turn 2, and then I have to get clipped in, and everybody's gone. And we're at the halfway point. And what happens at the halfway point? The true attacks begin. The winner of the race, Brendan Sullivan, he won the time trial, he won the road race, and he won the crit.
I hate those guys. I bet their marriage life is just terrible. I bet their kids hate them. I bet they've been divorced for 20 years.
He's a monster, man.
I bet,
that guy.
No,
he soloed away.
This is all speculation, of course.
Norm Alvis. There were several people to try and chase him down.
Really?
And I could watch that because I was on the sideline at that point. Because it only took me a lap and a half, and they were pulling people off, and I could see it. There's no way, because now the attack, the big, he's the mark man, takes off as I'm clipping in, and there was no way. And I tried for 2 laps, and it's
you know
like,
why
nope.
he attacked then? Because he said, "Oh shit, I got Paul."
That's
Paul's
right.
got his foot out.
So as an experience, I'm glad I did it. To be honest with you, I'm
Good.
glad I did it. I am anxious to try and do it again with a little more preparation, hopefully a lot more better luck.
Yeah.
It's not intimidating. I think as in registration, the way things went, there's no complaints. If I had to say, the negative was definitely I think not having the city informed. I was showing my brother-in-law and my sister the Tulsa Tough, that
Sure.
American Crit
Yeah.
video and stuff, and how the people turn out. And there's no reason you can't. This is a national event. You can't. I think Spokane would have turned out really well if we did something like that.
Yep.
I think we would get people. But I don't think that particular pick, and I don't know how it was chosen, whether somebody just said, we'll do it,
We'll take
and no one
it.
else. Yeah.
We'll take
Because
it.
it is a burden, and it's hard to do. Those things are hard to promote and run off. So there it is.
That's
Not a good story, but
no, but I've had people asking me about when are we going to find out how nationals went and everything like that. And you sent us a video, and I'm like, we got to do this on the show. We got to talk about this and things like that. I had no idea about the. And again, not to bash on the individual promoters. USAC is supposed to be a supporter to these types of events.
Yep.
And, I don't know if USAC does any type of marketing assistance. I doubt they do. They never did here. But it just seems like somebody could come in and say, hey, I understand that the only road closures you can get are on the military base, but that's when you, as a governing body, reconsider perchance where the race is held.
if you do that and you have to get clearance to get in, and it makes sense to make clearance to get into a military base, you are getting no people to watch. Now, to be fair, again, my race.
Well, you
went
probably
up.
had a lot of people watching, but they were in camo and you couldn't see them.
That's right.
Yeah.
And drones and all kinds of
Oh,
things.
yeah.
Yeah.
But on the crit at 8 o'clock, 8:50 in the morning, it's Sunday, so I'm trying to give them a little bit of slack.
Yeah.
And already it was 92 degrees, feeling like 98, 90 to 100 degrees.
Yeah.
And that was typical there. And it's funny because that same temperature is pretty close to what was at Charleston, South Carolina, but it's off the bay. The wind's constantly blowing. There was like no wind there, and it's just like it was an oven. But that's part of racing. Whether it's pouring down rain and the storms make it dark while you're doing a team time trial,
Yeah.
that's unfortunately the way it goes. And that's bike racing.
I'm going to throw complete ignorance out there. Does anybody know where the amateur Nats were this year for the U.S.? Were they in this for...
I can't remember.
Yeah. I'll have to look it up. But it also seems like we've been heavily on the east side of our country lately. and that's fair.
population.
That's fair. But it'd be nice to have something east of the west of the Rockies.
Well, last year Masters Nationals was at Albuquerque.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, there we go. I lose. Should have gone to Albuquerque.
Yeah. At 7,000 feet. Yeah, we'll do well there.
I'd have been fine with that. Yeah, I do okay at altitude. I do. Yeah. Altitude, and I'm finding out that I also do well at heat. Except I come home and I go,
Yeah.
Well, okay, there we go. Let's jump to tonight's topic. I want to talk about. Well, we've already mentioned the concept of it. Next year. About planning, about preparation and training. I can't believe I'm saying this, and it is August 29th. So let's be a little honest with ourselves, everybody, and I'll start with Jackson, and because Jackson has the best excuse in the house. How would you assess 2023's racing season for yourself?
I would say probably below what I was hoping to achieve is my best way.
Okay.
I think to expand on that.
Yeah.
I had a couple pretty quality races, and then the crash happened.
Yeah.
So that was really my big wrench. Wedding really didn't get in the way at all.
No.
Yeah. So that was it dovetailed nicely, but
Week leading up, I mean, honestly, major draw time of the wedding for you, it seemed like from afar, was like a week leading up to it in terms of day to day.
Yeah.
My days are blocked. And then the honeymoon and stuff like that.
yeah, the wedding was really not at all an issue in my riding. Yeah. The crash was the big one, and then the bike being kind of destroyed kind of is the way I would describe it the most. That didn't help either. And just like the back ordering of parts and how things don't fit, that was super annoying. So yeah, it wasn't exactly how I wanted it to go.
Yeah. I'm going to get to Paul here, but are we at the point where we're going to all need a backup bike?
Yes.
I mean, Jackson had his crash, and he was, fortunately, Sam loaned him his bike.
Right.
You wouldn't have been on your bike for at least 3-4 weeks.
Over a month
and a half because of ordering of parts, because of affordability of parts, because of those types of things. Paul, you cracked your seat stay. If you didn't have the Jack bike, you would have been out of commission for 2 to 3 weeks?
Yeah, 3 weeks. Yeah.
3 weeks. Are we now at that a point in our lives where we all have to have a spare bike sitting in our basement? This is bullshit. I mean, this is
to
insane.
be honest with you, I've always had a backup.
Yeah.
But that's bikes what they are now. Who can afford two $10,000 bikes?
No.
Yeah.
$8,000 to $10,000 bikes. This
You
is
just got to keep the
a
shit
big
you
circle
already
about
had.
my problems with what happened to Jackson, all this proprietary stuff, all this stuff that nothing works. Even what I came across on these older bikes, my bike being a 2017, the other one was 2012. With parts, not all the parts work. It's just, it's crazy. And Dismount Dave just bought a Triumph Speed Double motorcycle for $14,000, and I'm sitting there brand new, I can't remember how many horsepower, it's under 200 horsepower. He has fun all over the place. So he's mechanical, and he's telling me how you can tune it on this phone and stuff. There's an app and all that. $14,000. So you can buy also, you couldn't even afford an SL8 Specialized Durace.
Yeah.
With
the
14,
i2.
All right.
Yeah.
How would you, if you had to, let's go letter grades. Jackson, what would you give your 2023?
Like a C.
C. Paul, where would you assess your 2023?
C, but it was a lot better than 2020 or 21
Yeah.
or 22.
Okay. Always look on the bright side of it.
Yep.
David?
I think I'm going to give myself an A for what I expected of myself. I mean, I have I'm working 50 minimum hours a week to 70.
Major. Yeah.
And the fact that I was making races I'm very happy about. So
Good.
next year, hopefully even more.
We need a little golden ray of sunshine.
Yeah.
You know, we do need some positivity.
There we go. That's me.
Don't
No.
go to Augusta then.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
yeah.
No
You know
way.
what? If somebody would ask me in February if I'd have shown up to any start lines, I'd have said you were an idiot. So I have to put my season on a high note too.
Yeah.
Just because of the expectations going in.
Hey, you're the only one here with a podium, right? Out of all of us, right?
Well, I got a second.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah.
We had a second. Sam had,
Thanks,
his,
Jackson.
his thing.
Took my moment.
I got a second.
I got a
and
third.
crit.
Fair. Okay. All
You
right.
did?
Well,
Shit.
all right. I'm the only one without a podium then.
How far off your intended plan did you end up? Like going into the season, like David, you were saying you didn't have really an intended goal, so you
Probably
kind of stayed
ahead.
on. You
Yeah.
stayed ahead.
Or
yeah.
ahead because there was no, the fact that I went to anything, I was like, sweet.
Sweet. Paul?
Yeah, I think I only missed because we were moving in May, so I missed. Ready? Turn to bloom.
Oh,
Drink.
there it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
We got to go to that.
So, I mean, my goals are to do certain races, right?
Yeah.
So it's not. I don't have a performance because I just try and trade for that. But
Okay.
that is like the only thing that I missed. Yeah.
Jackson?
How
did
would
you
I?
have? What was your? How far off of your plan did you stray? I mean, at the beginning of 2023, were you like, I'm going to do this, or were you kind of going, I'm getting married this year, I'm keeping it open, I'm chilling?
I wanted to do well, I think, but I'm sounding like a broken record. The concussion got in the way a little.
Yeah,
So,
that'll do it.
yeah.
That'll do it. How do you guys plan to proceed from here now? Is there a plan of attack? And not everybody has to answer this, because if we go all around the panel, we'll end up talking until 3 a.m. But what's the plan to proceed? Like, when do you perchance start?
Now, right?
Yeah.
Really? Like, you're thinking,
Next year.
I know my weakness. I need to start thinking about this. I need to, implement a plan per se. Has anybody got a plan per se already dialed in?
Yeah,
You guys do. Holy shit! I'm the only one. I'm the only one who's just sitting here going, "Yeah, all right, man. I'm still, I'm alive."
Yeah,
Really?
I think that what I want to do is I want to try and ride outdoors for as long as I can.
You do.
Yeah, because I
This is the guy who did 2 indoor rides already this year.
With
Well,
smoke.
smoke and excessive heat
I
have
know,
been kind of
I have to make some jokes at people's expense.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how I feel better about myself.
I hear you. But yeah, I think I want to ride outside as long as I can.
Yeah.
I want to just actively commit myself to things, like workout wise, instead of just be like, I can always do it tomorrow.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I want to try and stay consistent.
Okay. Andy, so like Jackson had his alterations of his preparations. What are you guys going to do?
I would like to do some early season long miles and intensity, and then I'm planning to
Early
have,
season being
how Sam always goes to Maui because he has a million vacations.
He's
and
not
it never
now.
works.
Yeah,
he's
it's kind of burned up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And there's that. But he always goes on a big training camp by himself usually.
Because no one likes him.
March. Yeah,
That's
he
the
can't
thing.
get anybody to go with him.
Yeah.
He smells terrible.
I wouldn't.
And he's
asked
got
me.
that big horse ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wants to look at that?
When he farts, it goes.
Yeah, something like that. And then I'm planning to take 3 months off after I graduate residency. So I would like to.
And what's the date on that?
I finish at the end of June, so I'll have July, and I mean the racing portions will be most of June though. It's a really easy month for me, and then July and what comes up?
August. God, you're a tired doctor.
Yeah.
He's writing your scripts, everybody.
I am, yeah. So my goal would be to get. I am one good finish away. I've been one good finish away from getting the Cat 1 since I started med school. So
Really?
would love to get that someday, just to have it. So and then maybe
Bragging rights.
bragging rights. Yeah,
Yeah.
So that's my goal next year.
Yeah.
With that 3 months off.
Paul, what's any different in terms of preparation?
Yeah.
Plan.
Dismount Dave doesn't know, but since he has that speed double motorcycle, he's going to be motor pacing me.
What about me and my e-bike, man?
I'll see him this weekend. Hey, this is going to
Let's put a
happen.
roller on the back of
Yeah,
that.
your e-bike. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's put a roller on the back of that thing.
I know. He probably would come up with something.
Yeah.
Yeah. He used to have a Super Duke, a KTM Super Duke,
Okay.
and was close to 1,000 cc, and it's just like he's like in first gear, and he just all you have to like barely roll the throttle, and the thing would just like pop a wheelie. And he had this fat ass back wheel when I was trying to motor pace, and it's just picking up every little, because it's a track tire.
Face. Yeah,
it's sand, dirt, rock, and I don't wear anything to protect my eyes. Yeah. So that's my preparation.
I had a really good fall preparation last year. I was actually fall and early winter. I was actually feeling on target, and then obviously everything happened. So I don't know if I'm going to alter that per se. I would like to see how last year's plan could have worked. I've got to start thinking quality over quantity, though. I'm still under this old school mentality where you got to do it so many hours every day. Everything has got to be, I'm still into that mentality, and so I need to rethink that. And with that being the next concept, has anybody in this room ever considered a coach? Paying somebody a coach. Jackson, you immediately, your face curled down and you went, no.
I think the only way that I would ever consider a coach is if I was going to get paid to do the sport. Because it is
really,
it's such an expense to where it's like, realistically, and it's nowhere near the same. A coach is a quality, it's a real person, first of all, but it's a quality resource for somebody who's willing to make a living. But the fact that I can go on to Wahoo System, this isn't an ad, I genuinely mean this.
Yeah.
But the fact that I can go in there and just like I can set up a schedule, and if I want to stay consistent on that, I can. Or if I want to veer off, I can do that too.
Yeah.
It's like the fact that there are resources out there like that for people like me who aren't making as much as a dentist, and I'm not calling out anyone certain, but I know.
No, I make fun of it's a general term.
Right.
It's generic.
Right. You're right. But the fact, like, I think that a coach is like it's another level.
Yeah.
That I don't think I would be willing to put my finances into.
Do you guys think that we are missing out on something that a coach could provide?
Definitely.
Especially some of us who've been at the sport for 20, 30, 40 years.
Without a doubt. I think, one, like I thought, if I was retired and my goal was to do the best I can for like Masters Nationals, I would like to have a coach. Not that I don't know what I'm doing, but I don't. But the thing is you have accountability. You have somebody sitting there going, and when somebody says, "Hey, this is your training block. This is what you have to do." When it's by yourself, I think the average person, and I know I do, it's like, you know what, screw it, I'll just do this tomorrow. As of my position in my life right now, spending time with my wife and doing the things that, family, as I get older, family becomes more and more important to spend time with them. That's just not what I want to do. And if you're putting the money and time into a coach, it's going to take up a lot of that time. So I wouldn't do it. But I think they're very beneficial. So.
Wow. Okay. Okay. David, you're in the same boat.
I'm with Paul here. I think that they're good at what they do if you have the time and desire. It's not my primary goal though. Like cycling to me is still just its primary goal for me is unwinding, taking care of my mental health, taking care of myself, and I worry that involving a coach would take away from that because workouts can become a chore rather than I'm done with work early, I get to go for a bike ride and do whatever I want. So that's why I have never pursued a coach. It's not because I don't want to maximize. They could probably help me maximize my time and be faster, but for me, I just want to go out and do whatever I feel like that day. Not with the goal of being as fast as possible, but taking care of myself.
It's an interesting process for me to think about. I am a expired certified coach.
Nice.
But
USCF or USAC?
USAC. Yeah, USAC.
Wow.
And I genuinely don't. I'm not saying this to dick measure here because I think it's, in all honesty, I think there are several people, if not all of us, at this bar could pass the certification process. And I'm not belittling the job of a coach, because I think the job of a coach is beyond simply preparing a training program. I think it is the motivational factor, it's the accountability factor, it's the communication factor that are so much more important. I still have a difficult time where somebody is saying, hey, you gotta subscribe to my coaching program and I'll get you dialed in. And you're going, okay, that's great. And then something a little bit more generic, like what Wahoo offers, can be tailored to an extent. I mean, I think if you have the personal accountability, you can tweak a lot of these generic programs and make something your own that could be almost, if not as beneficial as paying somebody to do it. So then now I'm again speaking from ignorance, because I've never had a one-on-one coach since I haven't had one for a long time,
since Eddie B.
No, this is a long time after Eddie B. Eric Calmont was my last professional coach, and so anyway, I think it's an interesting process, and I'd like to hear people's thoughts on it. What do you guys plan to add this year to your program?
I am going to take advantage of the stuff that I'm talking about this program like it's a gospel.
It's okay.
It's
okay.
I'm as you can tell, I'm excited about it.
I was asking you about it for the last 2 years, but I don't need to get credit or anything like that. I just maybe an occasional thanks, Dad.
Yeah,
or
there
something
you
like
go.
that
Belongs
would be nice,
to you. The credit does. Yeah. I think I'm gonna try. I'm interested to see what their mental training does.
Yeah.
Because I had some difficulties last year with a lot of that stuff, and so I would be really interested to see what that's like in terms of not turning. Because David, what you said really resonated with me in terms of how cycling feels like a chore rather than something that you get to do to a
reward.
Reward. Yeah. And so I really want to try and focus it as a reward rather than a chore, and so I'm hoping to find something like that in there. And so I'm going to incorporate that into my training, because the mental portion is almost as important as the physical portion.
And it's hard to reward yourself to get on a trainer.
Yeah.
Hey, I get to go downstairs at 6 a.m. and hop on the trainer.
Yeah.
That's not a reward. But how do you find yourself to motivate that? I mean, there's an means to an end, that getting on that trainer is going to lead to that potentially eventual reward. So you got to do the mileage. But
yeah. So getting through that mental hurdle is hard. And so I'm interested to see how that can change this year.
Yeah. Oh, I need it badly too.
Mm-hmm.
I need it horribly. My mental status over the last, people have been listening to this podcast. I started out, I used to be the guy who'd show up at the line thinking, kind of like Sam would be here, I'm going to win this race. I haven't thought that way in a long time. And
do you want to get there?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. I say that now, but then again, sometimes when I'm going, hey, my wife and I have a good time on the camping trip, I think I'll have a bourbon, or something like that, and I'll do that. But I also mentally associate that as I've fucked myself up, and then I wake up the next morning going, oh, you had a bourbon, you dumb shit,
Yeah.
And then the little guy on the shoulders going, come down to hell with me, and then the next thing I know, I'm in this spiral, and please don't think I'm this fragile little desert flower, but it's so weird going from that phase of my life, and I'm wondering if the mental training, and that's where maybe not the coaching element, but a sports psychology element would be something would be an interesting application for me to try and pursue. So I'm going to probably add that in, and I'm probably going to add. I've always been pretty good about strength training in the winter, and I want to get back on that. I've had shoulder issues for the last probably year and a half, 2 years, and so I really want to work on that and core strength and stuff like that to build that up. But those are the things, just getting that and then staying on task. So you guys, you got anything you're adding to the programs? David's probably time.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Time off. After December, my year looks a lot better.
Sweet.
And then I was thinking about getting a direct drive this winter to make indoor training more fun.
Yeah.
So, because I think it
Yeah.
would be nice to sync it up with one of those programs that alters. It just makes it a little bit more interactive than your traditional fluid resistant.
You're
training.
still on an old school trainer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Every year I'm like, I need a direct drive, but like, it's expensive, and we
Yeah.
have these ones that work. And this year, I think we're gonna do it. So we'll see.
It's a worthy purchase. It's
Yeah.
like you
It
said, it is expensive, but it's
I just
game
stare at a
changer.
wall right now. I don't do
Now-
anything. I stare at a wall and just look at the power on my.
Speaking of that, so Wahoo,
Strong man over there, jeez.
they have a sale on their Core, which is a direct drive.
Yeah.
Oh,
right
really?
now. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like at $5.99 or something.
There is
that-
a link at packfiller.com.
Yeah.
And we're not doing that intentionally because I keep forgetting that we have a Wahoo, not a full-on sponsorship, but it is an agreement with Wahoo. So, yeah, click on that, yeah. Yeah, their trainer's great. I quit my Zwift, though.
As did I.
What are you going to go to?
I've always been on systems, so I might as well ride RGT.
Yeah.
If I want to go online, I want a racing element
Yeah.
though. I want to go online and test myself at certain given times.
And they do. And
Yeah.
and how about was it what's the one that
that went to nationals. It's not Be Cool. It's,
my whoosh or my whoop
boy.
or I can't remember what it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll look it up while you're thinking.
But
My-
that one is taken over, and they do a lot more online, racing and stuff. And there is some events that you can do with RGT too. They set up,
Yeah.
and you can do your own. You can invite people and stuff. So
That's
it's
cool.
just that we're not familiar with it. We've been coddled to,
Yeah.
Zwift because that was the Coca-Cola of that's
Yeah.
where we got to start.
and I was surprised that they lost the world.
That's
It's called
big.
money. It's
Yeah.
called money. You know
Yeah.
where that
Yeah.
company comes from. It's from the Middle East.
Yeah.
So, and UAE is sponsored by them.
What I will say is kind of funny about this whole situation is I have expressed on this show before that I
It's
like
my whoosh. Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
I like to play video games, and I play video games with my now brothers-in-law. And the way you're describing this, it's funny because that's how this stuff kind of works. It's just like, oh, hey, you want to join my party? I'll just invite you in, and we can all play together.
Yeah.
Now we can all ride together, and so it's funny to see how much this industry takes from another one.
But I want to
Yeah.
be Johnny from Ohio. I don't want to get dropped by Paul from Spokane.
And that's why we're all virtual and we can cheat.
Oh,
You just reduce your
Yeah.
weight, and then your power to weight goes way up.
Yeah.
so in real life, what you're telling me is if I just do what you
No.
do online.
You
So
put
if
your-
I get
See?
lighter in real life, I'll go faster.
No,
and-
see, you've already made the mistake. This isn't real life.
Yeah. That's right.
It's all fake.
Hang on there, bud. You're in La La Land.
there it is.
But here's the deal.
There's a devil
The-
on my shoulder.
The thing is, I look at people who cheat on that.
vomiting.
So-
That was bad. Sorry. That was a joke. Fucking relax.
So the thing is people who enter these races with lowering their body weight so that their watts per kilogram is increased. It's like, what's their whole purpose of doing this? To me, indoor training is a ways to get fit. So when you go outside,
Yeah.
But these guys are like bragging they beat some avatar from Ohio.
Yeah.
And they actually cheated. I don't even understand why they would do that. That doesn't even make sense. So
It's
it makes more sense to somebody who is real
Yeah.
about their and accurate about putting in their weight and the height and all that and getting the real results out of it, as opposed to you just got beat by a bunch of people who said they were a 65-year-old grandmother that was,
It's so interesting how it's become an actual dynamic element of the cycling process. These numbers that are created on these platforms, Jay Vine, a lot of these pro guys are getting contracts because of the watts and the numbers they're producing from these online platforms. It's a complete game changer. Zero tactical knowledge is required. I'm not saying they didn't have it. I'm not saying J.Vi didn't have.
Yeah, and he
tactical
raced on the
knowledge
road
going
before
in.
anyway.
Yeah, but these, you show these statistics and these numbers, and these are how you become a pro nowadays. It's interesting time. I'm not saying anything against it.
Well, I heard
But it's fascinating.
I heard somebody say that they're not relying so much on that because of position in a pro race. It doesn't matter what your watts are. If you can produce 500 watts for 20 minutes, whatever, and you're pushed outside and you can't ride in a pack, you're not going to be. These are 6-hour races.
Yeah.
So good luck. You're not in position. You have to put out those watts as opposed to learning position, especially in Belgium when the road's about as less
wide as the bar.
Yeah, exactly.
Do any of you guys sit down and set specific seasonal goals? Like, I remember there's always do you write them down and put them in your sock drawer or something like that? This shit my dad used to tell me. None of you guys do? Nobody does.
I do, but I have to wait until the race calendar comes out.
You do?
That's how I base it off. I want to do this one, this one, this one.
You don't have top 5, top 10?
No. Because,
really?
Well, especially in bike racing, it's just, you don't know you never know how it's going to go, and then you're going to be let down. If you think everything's going well, somebody overlaps your wheel, you have to clip out, you're done.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it doesn't mean you don't set the goal and prepare for it as if everything went magically perfect.
Yeah, but see, I approach it this way. I look at it, and I find the race, and I look at the parcours, and I'll train for that particular thing, and I know what I have to do that's what I'm looking for to get the best.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
But it's not like, at this race, I want to do podium.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. That's too much. Mm-hmm. But I know what I have to do on this course, and if I do that, I should place well. Hopefully first place.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. I like to target our local big race, RC3, and I mean, this is going to be my last year racing in the 4s, probably.
Oh my God. I can't believe that you're still in it.
Well, yeah, so this will be probably depending on the results, which I'm not throwing any shade.
No.
I've just been, so that'll be, I like to at least, target myself for something good within that race. So, yeah.
Nothing.
I don't know. I mean,
you just want to get
just
through
happy
this.
to be here.
Yeah.
I don't set any goals. If I can ride my bike, that's pretty much it. But
I used to
hurt people. That's a goal.
There you go. Yeah. That sounds like a weightless response.
I want people to think, "Oh no, there he goes again."
Yeah.
Which did not happen a few times. Like at the beginning of the year, it was like, "Oh, there he goes again." A lot of weak attacks.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I used to set usually New Year's Eve. I used to set goals like 20 start lines. I'm starting 20 races. It used to be a weight number. It used to be things like that. I don't know. I think I might need to get a little more specific in terms of things.
Yeah.
So it'll be an interesting year. Well, here we are too far ahead, but
starts would be a good one. Starts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I might do that.
And I'm gonna experience. I'm gonna start races on multiple disciplines. I'm going to get back on my mountain bike again. Sorry, Paul. My wife and I have been watching a lot of YouTube, and this is a recommendation, a loose recommendation. Sid and Mackie, it's a couple who do mountain bike races, and they do some pretty big races, and it's all point of view stuff, and they're riding these. And my wife's just like going, "I love these videos. It's like a video game, just watching a haul ass of things." And I do sometimes miss my mountain bike time, and I really want. I'm glad the ticker's working that I can go back and do some of those things. And gravel, I really wish that washboard roads didn't exist because they freaking are the worst part about racing gravel.
I think what's really interesting about gravel
tire
too.
pressure.
Yeah. Well, I have no understanding of that one.
What's interesting about gravel too is I'm finding more and more for myself personally is that gravel's a lot of fun to talk about. And then once you're 80 miles in and your shoulders feel like they haven't been on your body for the past 40 to 45 minutes, just not that worth it.
Yeah.
Fair.
Paul, I got a coming to Jesus question for you.
Mm-hmm.
We are no spring chickens.
No.
Have you ever thought of? Is there ever an idea of the downgrade to race in the B pack?
I will. It depends. So, like local races,
Yeah,
without a doubt, to me is like as long as I can hang in.
it's a shit pill to swallow.
Well, and I understand that, and I had no vision of grandeur of that I was going to do well. To me, if that's part of training, like
Sure.
on a local training series, there's no
Yeah.
reason unless I get dropped the first 1 or 2 laps. That's a waste of time,
Yeah.
right? So winning a training series in B, it's like that doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah, I get
But
it.
in all fairness, I like racing my age group or masters when I do. I don't want to do Cat 3 races or I'm done with that.
Yeah.
I'm an age grouper.
Yeah.
Now, Missoula, I'm thinking it was pretty close to that.
I love
was
it.
like-
Missoula.
Hey, voice cracked.
That was like, ugh, I would have never guessed because of the format. I mean, we've talked about it before, but
Yeah.
it was just so laid back. I'm like, you know what? It's kind of a training stage race. How cool is that? And we can all race together. Of course, Sam is selling us all on that. And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
you know what? You know, the training hasn't been that good, but maybe I could contribute a little bit. And you and I talked a little bit because I'm thinking that somebody like Sam Boardman wouldn't be there.
Right.
The guy who won Crybaby Hill and Tulsa Tough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Be a
just
bunch of
before
Sam-
he came.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
It'd be a
These
bunch of
pros,
Sam
yeah.
Waples. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why do we even
Two
listen to that
completely
guy?
different
Yeah.
Sams.
We
Yeah.
just need to.
Hey, I just want to say that I didn't.
But anyway, to answer your question,
No, I
there
just
is
want
some
to
time.
bask in the fact that I was right.
You were right,
You were.
and believe me, after the crit, I'm like, I'm screwed. This is like, I'll do what I can on the road race.
Yeah.
Just I couldn't even help, Jackson. I was whatever I could. So
Yeah.
I couldn't give you my bike. I couldn't
Yeah.
give you a wheel. I couldn't.
Can I also bask in the fact that, Sam talked a hot game and everything, but I beat him.
You did?
Overall, I beat him, man.
Oh, I thought you meant
Yep.
the crit. I was
He
like,
brought a
"Dude,
TT bike. He might have won that specific race, but overall, I beat him.
Yeah.
That's true.
all
You
that
had a good
matters.
road race.
Yeah, it was all the road race. Everything else was trash.
I will say in 2023, the strongest, even though I did not have a good road race, the old Pat felt really good on that day.
Good.
On that day.
Good.
We
That
were.
lights the fire, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
Yeah.
I mean, everything hurt, but every time somebody pulled off at the front and they were all just looking at each other, I went back to the front again. And that felt good.
Yeah,
That felt really good.
I love that.
Yeah, mind you, the pool might have been a little shallow. But,
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
But,
yeah.
yeah.
You're in your almost mid-50s.
Yeah.
I know what that's like.
Yeah. It's
Try 60s, buddy.
sucks donkey balls, man.
Purple ones.
So on, it
When you
does.
get 60.
It does.
Yeah.
So on.
no, there's normal, and then you turn 60. The purple.
Really?
Balls are purple?
Yeah. yeah.
Your balls are purple?
No, you said donkey.
Donkey balls.
Yeah,
Oh.
and I said
Oh.
they're purple when they're 90.
Okay.
The balls that you suck. Sorry, that one just went.
But I just wanna
That
make sure
joke
you're-
just fell
just-
right on the table.
What? I think I have a title for the show. They're purple.
They're
I
purple.
still don't quite get the joke, but you
I don't
don't
either.
have purple balls, right?
No, sir.
Okay.
Just
Because that would have been
Otherwise,
the that would have
I'd
been
be
the
setting an
question.
appointment with you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
we can do it in the back room.
oh wait, Doc.
Is that your whole hand?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, it's
River.
It's perfect time to do this, and it was actually when it was going to happen. We're going to check in with David for the Ask Dr. David, brought to us by our friends this week at Scratch Labs. Best tasting, easy digesting fuel and hydration options from recovery to high carb fuel. Scratch has it all, thanks to Scratch Labs. So I hope you got the text on what we're throwing at you this week.
Honestly, I did not. Did you text me? Really? I was thinking,
did.
I was like, are they going to...
I did.
Oh,
Okay, tonight we're going to get to the bottom of cycling superstitions.
Oh, shit.
There are some big ones, some from the 80s all the way on up. And what we're going to do is we're going to throw this at the panel, and Davis doesn't have his medical book, so he might be absolutely screwed. But he's on his phone, and he's not on his phone. There are certain things that cyclists have always believed are biblical law. when it comes to
Spaghetti
preparation,
the
when
night
it comes
before.
those types of things. And so what we're going to do is with all these things, and we can, the panel except for David can keep it quick. But then we're going to finish with David every time. And we're going to bring out, I've got 5 of the good old-fashioned old boy rumors. And we'll see how we go from there. So, number 1, the benefits or negative side effects of sex the night before a race.
You get time to think about this.
I'm
You
not
don't
talking
have to laugh yet.
I'm not talking sting and tantric sex here. I'm not talking 3 hours of a marathon here.
Huh.
But there was always this
there's
belief.
another version of it?
Wait, what?
It's not up for the first 2 hours.
Yeah.
Sex doesn't last 3 hours? Huh. Well, I'll be darned. Says Perfection Boy. There was always this thought that, especially in the 80s and 90s, that wives weren't allowed to travel with the riders for a long time because they thought sex the night before a race would cause fatigue, which would screw you up. Jackson, do you want to go first on this one?
Well, I will speak.
Is it beneficial or non-beneficial?
I will speak in an I'll speak in an intelligent way here because you're in the room.
Yeah.
From the videos.
What?
From the GCN. I'm saying GCN. From the
okay.
GCN based research that I have witnessed upon my television.
GCN's did a compare video. It's like Greg had sex the night before a race
versus
Paul had sex no night before a race. Let's see who got it faster.
It's a myth.
It's a myth.
Yes.
You think it's a myth?
Yes.
Okay.
Because
Fact or bull crap. I guess we could just say fact or crap.
Because realistically, doesn't it help you sleep better?
Well, I know I fall asleep immediately afterwards. Start snoring.
No conversation or anything.
You're about to learn a lot. Yeah.
So that's my answer.
I pulled back the curtain on that one.
I was gonna say, there's so many jokes running through my head that I'm going like, no. I'm gonna go crap too. I think it's I'm not saying marathon role playing or anything crazy like that. I'm just saying
just a doer.
Just what Jackson said. I think you're probably okay, Paul.
I would say it can.
It can.
And that's based off of personal experience. And then also, CP one time, we went out for a ride, and I'm like, what is with you? And he was just like, apologizing. Dude, and I knew, because I'd been in his shoes before, and I said, I know what happened last night. Yes. And he's, what? And sure enough, that's what it is. I think it can be.
He did not ride well because of it.
Yep.
Wow.
And I've done that exact same thing.
Wait, he didn't. So you're saying that you think there's some truth to it that you
at times
that it is,
and it might be the 3-hour sessions.
Yeah,
that's what it was. Yeah.
Sessions that he was talking about, as opposed to, hey, I got a race tonight, honey. What do you say?
Yeah.
I'll be done in like that.
Yeah.
I think that's different as opposed to is it like you're making a
just hold my hand, honey. And
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I was being like. Never
Honestly,
mind.
I don't
Dude,
know.
what do you have to say on
I
the
don't
whole
have
time?
much more than anecdotal stuff for you guys either.
Really?
This has not been. I mean, there's nobody that's like put this to trial to like randomized trial to see that I know of at least. I'll look after this if you'd like, but
GCN's
it might
next
be
video
a
then.
tricky. Yeah, it might be a tricky Google.
Yeah.
Well, what rabbit hole did you go down? Yeah.
But my thought is that like you're not gonna like change. The only thing I could think of is like if it somehow changed your like hormone levels so you didn't recover as well. But there's nothing that I know of in.
It's not gonna affect testosterone recovery.
If anything, I believe if I remember correctly, if anything, it might actually release a little bit more. That I can't actually remember that. I can't remember that. I don't quote me on that in the future, but. I have to kind of agree with Jackson that I think maybe it would help you sleep. And then the thing that I can't help but wonder is that like the confidence the next day, because you're talking about showing up to a race like I'm going to win this race.
Yeah.
I don't know. There might be some benefit
I'm an
there.
attractive man. Somebody
Yep.
thinks I'm cute.
Somebody
I'm
loved
gonna win
me
this
last
race.
night. Yep,
Yeah.
I'm gonna win this
Somebody
race.
thinks I'm cute.
Yep.
Finally.
Finally.
I'm feeling pretty good.
Well, the lights were
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, if you are just comparing the fact that, like, you had sex or not the fact that having sex may have kept you up all night long, which would impede your performance the
Sure.
next day because you didn't get sleep. But
Yeah.
if it was literally just whether or not you had sex, I have to imagine that it would probably err on the side of beneficial.
Yeah.
I would think that you'd probably more likely stay awake because you didn't have sex than after
Yeah,
you
right.
had
That's
sex.
a good
You know,
point.
like,
That's
hey,
a good point.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
you'd be resting better.
I say go for
So
it.
yeah, okay.
Yeah. Honey.
Bring your wife.
Next race.
Yeah. Next race.
Dr. Dave said we have to.
Eye of the tiger, honey.
Eye of the tiger.
Now, on a smaller scale, there was always one that said about shaving legs the night before a race. Actually,
Bollocks.
drew. Yeah, that we're all
Yeah,
going to agree
stupid
that's
too.
bullshit.
Did it what?
You shouldn't shave your legs the night before a race.
Oh, well, I don't know how that would be medical at all, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think of any, like, I can't think of any.
You cut yourself shaving, you might be
Sure.
losing some blood. And your
That
hematocrit
is.
drops like
Yeah.
a point, maybe.
I mean,
I don't
when
know.
I used to shave my legs, I would do it the night before to feel. Again, it's
Fast.
it's the mental thing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm fast. You know,
Yeah.
I'm a badass.
It's like
I had sex last night.
yeah. It's like people who put baby oil on their legs just to look
Sam.
cool. Sam does that?
He used to do that.
Oh
yeah.
my god.
Sam does a lot of
probably
things
him.
that he should
Yeah.
figure that out.
Caffeine makes me faster.
Oh yeah.
Caffeine
Oh.
makes me faster. Who? David's leaving. No.
Sam was texting.
Who believes caffeine makes you faster, and in what application? Jackson.
I don't know if caffeine makes me faster rather than it probably just makes me more awake and aware and a little jittery.
Okay.
So it makes me, I think, a little bit more focused in on
Really?
the one thing. Yeah.
I will say that beyond the normal amount of caffeine, I will not like pound a Red Bull before a crit or something like that,
God.
or an espresso before a crit or something like that. I would never go beyond my normal breakfast caffeine amount because I just think I think it's a and David will be able to answer this. I think it's a natural diuretic. I think it's going to dehydrate you to a certain extent, and almost make you want to poop too. And
Oh no,
don't get me
that's
started on
the
whole poop thing.
bonus.
Oh.
You're losing weight. So that was I'm going to say.
Oh!
The benefits are you're going to just colon blow.
Yeah.
Not
And,
during the race, though.
No,
We're not
before. That's
triathletes
why
here.
you don't drink caffeine. Like you don't have a shot or an espresso. You have maybe caffeine in one of your gels.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But all I know about math and science.
Yeah.
So when it comes to caffeine, it
all I gotta
dilates
say about that.
your blood vessels so that
Yeah.
blood goes through. No. I don't know. I mean, that's what I heard.
David
but
just shook his head yes, and now you're like,
And I
that's
think
bullshit.
that's part of it. But also, just one, you get this. It's kind of a natural high.
Yeah.
It cleans you out if you do it. Like I always have, like an espresso early before the race, so that it takes its effect diuretically.
Yeah.
I get water back in, and then all of a sudden I take one more shot when I know that I'm not going to shite my chamois.
Shite the sham.
And then
don't shite the sham.
And then I'm
That's
I don't want
going
to
on
get
a
the
shirt.
jitters.
Don't shite the sham.
I don't want to get to the point of jitters. There's everybody has a different level. So that's how I take it. So
Where did you send these? Because I really wish I had brought some more
Coffee?
legitimate things for this one
It's
specifically.
on your.
because
It's on your phone. I
he was working.
Swear to
He
God.
was
you're
working.
probably right. I had a really horrible day.
Well, do a research and have him bring it back
Yeah.
this week.
But
Yeah.
I can tell you without being able to give you the specifics that, I mean, it is, if you do not use caffeine on a regular basis and then you use caffeine, there is an effect on increasing blood flow, increasing stimulation. And so, like, specifically think about a crit where you need to be sharp, you need to be alert, you need to be like ready to act at any moment. I think caffeine is very beneficial in that setting. And then also with increasing your ability, your blood flow, vasodilating your arteries. The diuretic effect, it theoretically helps you produce more urine and bowel movements, but it's actually not like a diuretic like the diuretics that I prescribe to people, but it does make you pee a little bit more, but you're drinking water with it. I wouldn't worry as much about that. But the key is that, like, if you have 2 cups of coffee every single morning, that's your new baseline.
Yeah.
So that's the issue, is that like caffeine on top, like caffeine to somebody who doesn't drink caffeine will have a significant effect. If you have 2 cups of coffee every single day, you're probably going to acclimate. Your body will adapt to that and you won't see the benefits. But if you go multiple days without coffee and then you pound some before a race, you will probably notice.
So how about this? Throw this out. So I have 1 cup of coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
And
You have
that's
one?
about it. Just 1. But
Well,
if I have a race, like in the afternoon or something, that's when I take a shot.
Yeah.
So now it's out of my. So that I would get that benefits.
You should, because
yeah.
think of your daily amount as like that's your new baseline. Because like,
You're
does
starting
everybody
at
drink
0,
coffee
right?
every morning? If you don't drink coffee, you feel pretty crummy that morning.
Yeah.
If you go multiple days without drinking coffee, you find a new baseline. And if you make it to a week or 10 days, if that's possible, you probably would wake up feeling like as if you had drank coffee.
Or like you've wasted the last 10 days.
Because
Yeah,
you weren't
not drinking coffee.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's
What
not
a
worth
waste
it.
of time.
That's
Yeah.
what
Why
I
would
think.
anybody-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why people do this, but
Life not worth living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys haven't heard coffee's the original performance enhancing drug. You guys
Yeah.
have been around forever, right?
Gianni Bugno
Yeah.
got nailed for like a over the top limit of caffeine in his system.
Yeah.
He got busted in a race for it.
This one I actually feel very strongly about because I love coffee so much, and I could tell you the health indications for people like with liver disease where it's actually helps them live longer. But I wish I would have prepared for this a little bit better.
Okay, well,
And
we're gonna
next week.
remind me
Yeah,
to touch
yeah.
base on
Because we
caffeine
all love
as a-
coffee.
as
Just
a-
coffee.
because, yeah,
like
I need
that,
to come
right?
back to this one specifically.
Right,
Yeah, do your
remind me
research,
to
you'll
come
get a
back
nice
to
little-
caffeine.
Yeah.
Awesome. The last one we're going to talk to about the old school one is when I'm sitting at the dinner table the night before a race. I'm speaking from personal experience where I was sitting across the table from, and I bash on triathletes because they were giving me dirty looks because I was having a beer the night before a race, like it was going to cause some form of performance inhibition. Thank you. I was like, what's the opposite of enhancement? And that was going to cause my inevitable downfall the next day. Now, mind you, the fact that because of their reactions, I probably had 4 more. Yes. I'm a firm believer in everything in moderation, and a beer the night before a race is not bad. Or is, when you see Tour de France riders toasting champagne, it's not like they're going to suck the next day. Mm-hmm. Is this a complete wives' tale and bullshit, Jackson? Are you?
I mean, I'm not really a big drinker, but I think that everything in moderation, is
I
great.
will ask the same question in another form of legalized enjoyment. Is a little bit of THC bad the night before a race?
I think that it can probably help with recovery in some ways.
Sleeping again?
Yeah.
Sleeping.
I think sleeping, it could help, especially depending on what the form in which you are consuming it.
Yeah.
I think that if you are smoking, I think it's
Big
not
old
probably.
bomb rip.
Yeah.
Bong rip isn't going to
I think that's
exactly help
definitely
your lungs.
I think that's definitely a negative, but I think that a
yeah, exactly.
I think an edible form with some.
Go ahead, Jackson.
I think an edible form with some forms of like CBD in it can also be probably pretty good.
Sure.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Paul?
I would go back to the baseline. If you are, if you're not an excessive drinker, if you have a beer at night and stuff like that, I would think that's fine. Your body's kind of recovering. When it comes to THC and stuff, I don't know, because there's now, when I heard, and it's not finalized, but schizophrenia is on the rise with legalized marijuana.
Wow.
So,
That is true.
And why is that? I don't know. Is it because that's a gateway drug to other drugs that cause this problem? I don't know. So I think we're going to be finding some more information about that later on. So anyway,
Yeah.
that's my thing.
David, crack open this. These are obviously two topics that are three topics: alcohol, caffeine, and THC,
and schizophrenia.
And schizophrenia.
All right, with alcohol, actually, so I remember we talked about this one early on after I joined, and I was with you. And I still am. That like everything in moderation, especially with people like us who are largely doing this for fun, not a career. But I will say that if your primary goal, if I went to nationals, if I was a professional, if I was really doing everything possible to make those marginal gains, alcohol will not help you, because it actually, while there's carbs in it and water, the ethanol that predominantly is what we're worried about.
We like the ethanol part.
The part that we're drinking it for, it does inhibit your body's ability to both form glycogen and break down glycogen down the line. So not only are you not going to replete your glycogen stores like you would without it, and it may be marginal with 1 or 2 drinks, but the next day, even 12 hours later, if you have an early morning race, you probably will not be able to access those glycogen stores the same as you could if you hadn't drank. So really, the advice there, if that was your primary end goal in life, was to win bike races, would be not to drink alcohol. But I would like to point out that, how many drinks have you had, fucker? I had 4, and I did the best in the race.
You
that
did.
day.
Yeah, that night at the race when you leaned over to me, hey, fucker, how many drinks you had?
But you had a lot more glycogen stores prior to his.
I guess. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and then THC, I don't have a ton to say about that I can offer evidence based on that, other than, you mentioned CBD. It does have some potential anti-inflammatory effects, maybe the benefits of sleep. But I can't really think of any way that other than those two things, it would really benefit you. And Paul is right that we have an increased incidence of schizophrenia in young adults who only use THC, and that is maybe related to the potency of or CBD or THC and CBD products that we see these days. But so I still, even though it's legal and relatively harmless, I still can't recommend it to people.
Maybe it's just setting your mind free, dude. Maybe schizophrenia is the
real reality.
It's the new normal.
Setting your mind free. Didn't even think about that.
Yeah. You ever thought about that one?
Yep.
Choke on that. Let's move on. Pack Filler Picks. It is Jackson's turn. By the way, in case you don't know, these picks are all posted at packfiller.com on the homepage. My goal is that we have 3 picks from each member of the panel, and they are all posted there with links that will take you to ways in which to purchase them. And so far we have David, we have Sam, we have Pat, tonight's Jackson. Jackson got picked 3 different items, 3 different things, and we get to probably disagree or agree on his value to weight ratio in terms of what he chose. And I don't know if this one was first, Jackson. Is this one first?
Doesn't matter. All of them are.
Your first pick. Go for it.
One of my 3 is... just moving this over a little bit, is the Pedro's L hex wrench set. It all comes in a whole kit together, and it's in the holder and everything. It's for $31.99.
Does anybody call them Allen keys anymore?
Yeah,
Or am I the only one?
Allen wrenches.
Allen wrenches. Yeah. Allen wrenches. Yeah. Okay.
I just got this, I would say, in springtime, and it's like it's great. I love them all. I use them all the time, especially for somebody like me who has to take his wheel out that way.
Yep.
It's really nice to just have a set where you always have the right size and you don't have to torque wrench it out and in every time. So it's convenient to have.
And what I like about these, that this might be a trade name, but Bondage tip or the rounded end. So
I was wondering what that. I was going to say the ball end, but what Bondage tip, is that what they call them? Okay,
very useful.
Mm-hmm. So you can take them in at an angle and things like that. No, absolutely.
Yeah. And it's also really nice too, because while you could possibly damage them, even though you guaranteed won't, they're really nice if you put together furniture. You have
there you go.
You have
good quality.
Yeah,
I have the top shelf of my tool drawer. It has just been years and years and years of Allen keys that come with random things that are just
throw them away.
Yeah, I need to. I need to just dump it over a bag.
Well, and I'll just say this: why that's a good pick, in my opinion, is traveling, and at least on my bike, it's it's all Allen keys.
Yeah.
Everything is. And back in our day, even though we wax sentimental of how good it was, you had to have a number 8 in wrench.
Yeah.
There was like
Phillips head, flat
there
head.
was different types.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Good
a
one.
good set. This
Yep.
is a really good set. I do notice that you see a lot of shops, especially using the T handle Allen
Yeah.
keys. A little
I
bit
have
more.
torques in that.
Yeah. Do you? Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought
not
a
torques,
set
but excuse
recently.
me, a torque wrench.
Yeah.
I think
Oh
it's,
yeah.
It's unnecessary though. It's got because you have like 3 essentially on each wrench. That's like professional grade. This is what we all need
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is plenty for home
Yep.
users.
Yeah. Good choice, Jay. Next one. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
this is the helmet that I use, even in the color that I use.
It is.
So it is the POC Ventral MIPS. It's their Aero helmet, the Aero Road helmet. It's not like a TT helmet or anything. It's great. It saved me from further brain damage that could have been at pushing 30 miles an hour. I like the amount of kind of off the beaten path colors that you can pick. I think that there's something in there for everybody, and it fits bigger heads too. And I would know I have a very large head.
Nice.
I'm a POC guy. I was a Giro guy for 99% of my helmeted life. Other than the years that I was in a Bell, and my teammates would ask me what was the salad of the day, because I had a helmet that looked like a salad bowl.
Fair enough.
V1 Pro.
No, it was before that.
Oh,
It was
really?
before that. Yeah, my dad didn't let me ride. I did have a Broncoli for a while, which,
Oh,
let's
there
be
you go.
honest, was just a sheet of plastic.
Oh yeah. That one.
That
Yeah,
blue
yeah.
one, blue and
Yep,
white
yep,
one.
Yep.
These, you know what? I'll be honest. In my early days with POC, I thought they were a little goofy looking.
Yeah.
And then you ordered one. You wanted one for Christmas, and your mom bought it for you. And I put it on my head before we wrapped it. And I went, shit, this feels comfortable. It fits really well.
It's really nice. And being an Aero helmet, it's vented very well.
Yeah,
As
I'll
well.
get it off the
Important.
orange there. We'll
Do
go.
the glasses sit in there well?
Has a
fit
glass
very
port?
well.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
good.
yeah.
It's even got little these pieces that are kind of like sticky but not sticky. They're like
Yeah.
kind of
Oh,
like
yeah.
a fabric,
Little
almost like a shark.
like a felt.
Yeah, like a shark skin fabric.
Yeah,
kinda.
yeah. It holds it in. Yeah.
Nice.
It's nice.
Paul, I know you're not a.
Well, only
Buckeye.
because it does. It looks normal on people with like an orange on the toothpick, and I'm like a tick. My head is a pinhead if I wear POC.
It looks.
It's
too big.
like
You
I look
a
like
mushroom?
the Uno X
helmets,
TT helmets.
Okay.
I mean, they're massive on my head.
I get you.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
David,
Something
you're
for everybody.
Doing well.
Specialized
you're
guy.
I told you I'd
Oh,
have
he's
to pee
swiveling.
again.
He's
Yeah.
swiveling.
Oh.
Okay,
Again.
last one before we call the show. Jackson, I got a
Nice.
problem with this, but that's okay. Go.
Well, so I think the reason why I chose the AirPods Pro is because I think they can be very useful for a cyclist, because they have something that's called a transparency mode. For those of you that don't know what that is, if on the right earbud, when you get them, they come like this stock, you hold it down and it makes a noise. It goes boom, and you can hear everything around you. And it's obviously not as loud. The music is not as loud because the point is to hear things around you. But if you're on a road, you can still have earbuds in that at the tap of one of the earbuds can still be created into noise canceling, which is pretty high quality for an earbud.
Yeah.
But then to be able to hold it down and hear everything around you, I think that's really special.
Can you set it up so it hears the things around you at all
Yep.
times?
Yeah.
Yep.
So it can be a constant setting.
Yes, so you can just
Okay.
hold it down, and if you take it out and put them into the case, there's a charging case and everything. You take them out and you put them back in, they're going to be like that. And they have an IPX rating, I think, of like a certain amount of meters, so which means that they are like somewhat waterproof. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Okay.
sweat-proof, rain-proof, all that type of stuff. Don't
I-
go swimming with them, but
Yeah.
Thumbs up. I own them.
You do?
Yeah, and they amplify. Like in the morning, I use them for when I'm taking off phone messages for work. I can hear everything. I can hear my dog wake up, click, and
Wow.
I still can
Yeah.
hear the messages. It's amazing. And I used them going down to on the plane. There's a crying baby, and I canceled out, and you just hear the baby
Cancel the baby.
faintly. Yeah.
Wow.
But if you're riding, or to me, like even so my wife wakes up in the morning, says, "Is coffee ready?" I can hear her
Wow.
and listen to music, and it's like, yeah, and it almost is like picks up, it amplifies it a little bit to me.
David, last thing
product.
before you would leave for the end of the show, because I'm going to let you pee before I sign off the show. Your thoughts on riding and headphones? Are you a fan?
I do wear headphones when I ride alone.
Okay.
And I have a $80 pair of Skull Candies from Costco that do all of what you're talking about.
Wow.
So my only beef with the Apple AirPods is that they're $220. And you can usually get the same. I have only had them for a couple months, so I don't know about longevity, and I hear these have quite good longevity. But my opinion is that hearing what is going to be around you on a bike ride is not going to save you from the car that's going to hit you.
Your
And so
front
I
behind.
actually do not use the aware mode on mine.
Wow.
I don't use noise canceling. I just have them as is because my Garmin radar to me is like, I mean, that's the best I can do. After that, it's like, if I hear it, it's too late. They're gonna.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah. You can use
Go
the restroom
pee,
while
okay,
I
yeah,
sign
thank
off. But
Don't forget to insult Sam while I'm gone.
Oh, absolutely, douchebag. My philosophy on it is I like to hear somebody yelling. I like to hear a car coming up. I don't need to hear what they're saying. I just need to hear a voice. If I hear a that's fine.
And
If I'm hearing Charlie
yeah.
Brown's Teacher in the background over my shoulder, I know something's there, and I'm looking back. And with David saying, the car's going to kill me anyway, well, that's fine. But most of the cars hopefully aren't going to be trying to kill me. I'm at the point where I have the spatial awareness where I can hear a car coming up. Or I can hear somebody passing me. I'll see a mountain. I'll be on a mountain bike trail or something like that. And if somebody says on your left, I might not hear on your left. I'll hear, and I know somebody's there. I have a problem with people riding in full noise cancellation mode where they can't hear a single thing around them. So I'm the opposite of David, and he's gone. So I can say because of his tiny bladder, he's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
But I ride when I'm alone. I ride with him too, and I'd like to try these ones, especially now that I know it has that option of one or the other. That's really cool.
And when you open them up, you put them in, they're automatically connected to your iPhone. So it's
Yeah,
no
yeah.
hassle.
Yeah.
Oh, Apple stuff is so great about pairing.
Yeah.
That is so cool. All right, that brings us to the end of another podcast. I was going to ask a final question, but I'll ask that one a little bit. I'll ask that one next week. First of all, you guys, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Screw you, David.
Yeah.
Sam, you suck. Sam is doing a freaking awesome vacation. And Sam, if you're listening to this podcast, you shouldn't be. You should be having a wonderful time with your better half. So there we go. And Jack, let's get the bathroom going. So David doesn't have
He's
to go
coming.
so far.
He's
He
coming.
is. And we should get Jack back on the show. I miss Jack. Everybody like, subscribe, tell a friend, follow along on YouTube and iTunes. I know that's a common generic thing to ask, but in case you didn't know, the numbers of subscriptions that go up means the numbers of opportunities that come to our show and things that we can do with it in terms of video and audio streaming. So if you click that subscription button, David came back that quickly.
Yeah.
If you click that subscription button, it really helps us out. So just do that, and I promise we won't spam you. We won't find you. We won't sit outside your house with a boombox above our head playing "In Your Eyes" by Peter Gabriel. We good?
Yep.
I got that one.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you next week.
Hope you trip, Sam.